So first tour I ever did, 2 weeks. It was so much fun. It was terrible, um, but it was the first time you're ever on the road. It was just like
It's an awesome
so,
feeling.
dude. It was insane. So I was hooked.
Hmm.
From day one, I was in. I was like, all right, this is. I need to keep doing this. So we came home from that tour, and the guitar player who pretty much ran the band, because I joined the band a little later. He was like, "Oh, I'm getting married, and we can't practice here anymore, so the band's done." So we split, and I just kind of started working some odd jobs here and there, and then I started playing and writing with this girl that I was friends with at the time, and a couple other friends, and we put together this kind of pop project. And I got a manager involved, and we had this deal lined up, and I quit my job, and we spent like 3 months writing this record, and um, we were getting ready to go record it, and like I remember we were at it was like Thanksgiving dinner, and I was probably 19 or 20, I want to say. No, a little. I was probably like 22, 23. Sorry.
Okay.
So we're at like a big family dinner. My mom's like, I have some big news. Matt signed this big record deal, and his band's gonna go do all this, record this record. And like 3 weeks later, the manager hits up the chick singing in the band and is like, "Hey, I think you should be a solo artist, and you should fire your band." And she
Oh my God.
she took his word, and you know went to the studio and had a studio outfit, and they tried to write something, and the label was like, "Yeah, this isn't what we signed up for. This sucks." So they got denied. So
Karma's a
like my
bitch,
mom
man.
made this whole yeah, but my mom made this whole spiel, and then it like literally 2 weeks later it just fell apart, and I felt like such an idiot.
So let me ask you something.
So
Were your
yeah,
parents like supportive of the music coming up?
always,
Really?
always,
That's amazing
yeah.
because I know a lot of parents aren't.
So and let me backtrack a little. So like no one in my family plays instruments. My
Me neither.
family's
Me
not
neither.
not a music family. Like my
Hmm.
parents barely listen to music. My like early childhood memories with music are just Christmas music and going to Broadway plays with my mom. Because like twice a year, my mom and I would take a bus trip, and we would go see a
My mom did the
play.
same thing.
And
Same thing.
yeah, dude, I loved it. So you know, they were very supportive. I mean, when I dropped out of college and tried to start touring and stuff, they became a little less supportive
Yeah.
for a little bit. But so then, yeah, moving forward again. So when that whole thing fell apart, there was a band that I was friends with at the time called A.P.A.M the Animal.
Okay.
They then became Life on Repeat. I don't know if you've ever heard that
I think
band.
that sounds familiar.
Fantastic band, super underrated. They got the shit end of the stick all the time, and they they were 10 times better than anything at the time, and maybe even current.
Hmm.
So I was friends. I actually tried out to be a third guitar player in that band because they had three guitar players for a while. And then
Are you sure you're not talking about
uh,
Dragon Force?
I'm not. I've seen Dragon Force though.
Yeah. I
Um,
don't even know any of their songs. That's just like a buzzword
they
to
all
me.
sound they all sound the same.
Yeah, everything sounds. It's all like that weird prog rock. It's just like, okay, you guys can shred.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah. It's cool to watch like two songs, and then
Yeah.
you're like, I get it. But so my buddy Andrew in that band hit me up and was like, "Hey, sorry this whole thing fell apart. We have a tour coming up. Like, you should just come out, hang out with us. You can do merch and lights, and just come chill with us. So I ended up touring with them for like 2 years, basically off and on, just doing odd end jobs. And um, shortly after that, I was at a show in Reading, and uh, This or the Apocalypse was playing. And I had known those dudes from shows from back in the day. And Ricky came up to me and was like, "Hey, our bass player just decided he's leaving the band, and we were wondering if you would like be interested in jamming with us." So at the time, I was like working through a temp agency, managing a shoe store in the Philadelphia outlets that was completely like self-service. So the only thing that we had to do was like ring people out. And the store was literally just an empty store with folding tables with boxes of shoes stacked on it.
Oh my
And
god.
then a curtain for the back room. It was like as bare bones as you could get. So I was like managing this pop-up temp store, and I I got asked to try out for Toda, so I basically like put a little studio set up in this back corner, and while we were at work, I would just sit there and learn the songs and like go through all the parts and whatnot, and then
That's such a grind when you have to learn a bunch of songs at once.
yeah,
Like I
yeah,
was in a cover band for a while, and like in the beginning, having to learn just a massive playlist of songs. I mean, most of them were fairly easy, but like there's just so much to take in. Like, we would have to break it down and do it in batches. Like, all right, let's learn these
no,
8 now, and we'll learn these 8 in 3 weeks. It's like fuck,
yeah,
and then you start
and
remembering them, and it's like, oh, I don't know, this wasn't that bad.
yeah, yeah, and like towards the end with Emarosa, I mean, like the headliner tour we did, we were doing like 18 songs plus an intro and interludes and stuff. And like, man, my anxiety prepping for that stuff was just through the roof. And we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But